One of the ways that Michael helps people is by pointing out their old patterns and limiting thought forms. Today I'm talking with Naia, who is a young mother with a 4-year-old daughter. Naia was able to recognize all the ways she had previously limited herself and as a result, limited her daughter. Coming up, we'll talk with Naia about the transitions that she has made and how it has changed her role as a mother, as well as her perspective on self and life. My first question is, what led you to seek help from Michael?
I went through about a 3-month period after John left me of just so disconnected with the world. I felt like the darkest I've ever felt. And I saw that being reflected in my kid. And it scared me because she was 2.
What emotions were you feeling during that time?
Anger that felt like it was literally trying to break out of my body. Yeah, it was really like there was sadness in there too. Some guilt, some shame, but anger. And it's still an anger that I'm working through because it literally like, and I would lay in bed at night and I was like, I could just feel my body like vibrating with this anger, and it was consuming me and I couldn't let it. I couldn't. At that point, I was choosing not to let it go. It was everything, and I didn't want it to be anymore. And so I basically was like, well, I'll try anything. And Mom, got me a session with Michael. And
How did your emotions change once you started working with Michael?
so Michael gifted me 3 sessions, and after the first one, I've never cried so much in my entire life as I did through that first session, but I felt better myself. I felt like myself again. I felt like I was coming back. I was coming out.
What method did Michael use to help you gain understanding?
Truth. He was, my mom had done some, but he was the first person who really just spoke truth to me about the choices that I had been making, the ways that they're impacting my kid already. And I didn't let me like dwell. He didn't let me like sit in the anger, which is what I'd been doing. I'd been just sitting in it and stewing. And that's my that's my MO is to stew. And so like truth after truth after truth, and then okay, let's move on. Like this isn't you. Like this isn't you.
So, in essence, Michael reminded you who you really are.
Yes, when I didn't even know. I mean, I was so disconnected and so wrapped up in my anger that I didn't know myself. I'm still getting to know myself.
How did your perspective of yourself shift through working with Michael? And how did that affect the way you perceived others?
At first, it was a lot of judgment of myself. I had to like work through that and I mean, I still have to remind myself sometimes, but a lot of judgment of other people started coming up as well, because I felt like I was seeing my relationships, and so my relationships with my friends, the friends that I'd had for years and stuff like that, and that I had always thought how close we were, and it just felt I felt like I got to see like where we all live, the surface level relationship, and then like God, what it could be.
And how did you feel once you realized most of your relationships were only existing on the surface?
Yeah, let's go deeper, because it just felt there's a lot of, I felt fake. There's a lot of feeling fake, realizing how fake I'd been with myself, how fake I'd been with my daughter, how fake I'd been with my friends, and then feeling like I would see that in others as well. And so instead of judging it, I'm now working on, you know, embracing what I was, and realizing that when I truly am who I am, then I will bring those kind of people into my life.
How did your friends respond once you had these realizations and started making changes?
Yeah. I mean, I can only have control over myself, but there's definitely a few friends that have asked questions and have seen how much happier I am. Like, that's the thing I get, like, more than anything is like, wow, Niall, like, you seem happy. And that's one of the biggest things that I've learned from Michael is to embrace and to move forward through these things instead of dwelling on them, and holding myself in that pain and that anger and that sadness, and moving forward through them. Because God, I can't even tell you, like, when I'm doing that and I'm in my center, like, I feel like I can do anything.
How would you describe what it is Michael teaches?
I want to say love, but if I had to pick one word, I'd probably say self. And I feel like his biggest lesson to me was about finding myself, and finding myself. Because if I am myself, I am love. So finding that sense of self, finding myself, finding that energy, that power that's within me that I have pushed down and shoved down and, you know, buried and, you know, denied for so long, that I didn't even know it was there. I didn't know who I was or what I could do. And I mean, God, I spent my life like not doing things because I was worried about X, Y, or Z.
From your perspective, what makes Michael such an effective teacher?
He is what he teaches. And like he'll, after a session or whatever, he'll tell me that he loves me, and, see you later, kiddo. And it's just like I feel it. Like it doesn't feel like how many millions of people have said, not millions, but how many people in my life have told me that they love me. But the feeling is, it feels different. He feels authentic. When he talks to me, it just feels real. It feels like truth.
How would you describe Michael's workshops?
Just one of the coolest experiences I've ever had.
What was the greatest benefit of you participating in the workshop?
So to be able to not feel alone in it. And that's why I love having my mom doing the same work with me, because I can, like, she and I talk all the time, and I have a cool little insight. I'll shoot her a text, and it's cool to have someone who um I can talk to about this stuff. So in the workshops, you have this room of people, and to feed off of each other, and like I remember one time I was doing it, and then another person just had this I was talking about my stuff, and this other person had this amazing thing for themselves. So it's just the way that we get to really connect with other people, um through yeah through Michael's teachings, and through our own life's experiences, and how many of them are so similar, and our own versions of movies, but the storyline's the same. And it's cool to feel like a group, to feel connected to others in a deeper way.
How has working with Michael impacted your relationship with your child and your role as a mother?
Profoundly. Olivia was so young in my eyes, but I have already seen how much she has already gotten from me. And so seeing how she's already learned to manipulate me, was really, really interesting. And I've already started to change that. I've already, with Michael's encouragement and certain things, I've already been able to hold her more accountable. And it's been so cool to see what she's capable of, even at 4, how much I limited her before and how much she can do. And yeah, I won't be doing that anymore. I will definitely not be limiting her because she is so smart and so capable.
How were you limiting her before?
Yeah, it was really interesting to see how much I thought she wasn't capable of emotionally, and then like physically, like, oh, she can't do that. Oh my God, she can do that. Like seeing cleaning up after herself, like little things, but that, I was like, oh, she's only 4, or at the, she's only 3. And as a culture, I think that we limit young people very much. And I definitely did with my own.
So Michael helped you realize not only are you capable of much more, your daughter is too.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And now I've been able to see, like, she now she has her chores that she has to do. She feeds the cat, she takes out her trash, she has to clean up after herself. And while it took a little time and encouragement for her to really get into that, she now, like, it's like an excitement. It's like it's this accomplishment. And it was so cool for me because I felt and I could see that I was building this within her, like from this young age, like building the sense of like, look what you can do, Olivia. When you focus, when you do your stuff, like, look what you can do. And I felt like I could see that excitement in her, that sense of accomplishment, of something as little as taking out the trash, but to really see that, yeah, that she is capable of so much. And I felt like I could see it in her, that she felt that way.
With the understanding you've gained through working with Michael, what advice would you give to your younger self?
I would greatly encourage my younger self to not worry so much about what other people think, to not waste the time and the energy spending, God, I can't even tell you how many hours consumed in that worry, in that fear. And as a result, how much I limited myself, how much I didn't go out for that sport team or try that musical instrument, or because of the fear of, like, what if I'm not great at it? Well, yeah, okay, you could have learned. You could have tried it, but I didn't even try because I was just paralyzed by the fear of what people thought about me, or what I was doing, or what I was saying, or what I looked like, or all of it. And it was, I mean, at this point, it's a great learning opportunity. Sometimes I have to not get stuck on the fact of how much of a waste of time it felt.
But now you realize it's all part of the journey.
Yes. Yes, I definitely.
Cool. Well, thank you, Naia, for taking time to talk with me today.
Good to see you, Garret.
Good to see you as well. Yeah.
I will see you soon.
Okay. Talk to you later.